I play Helen Justineau, who is I guess you would say the teacher for the kids, for the hungry kids, and she's brought in to educate them, but also as part of the kind of the program to try and find out how to cure, to find a cure. We start the film seeing me teaching the kids and understanding that they have creative ability, compassion, love, can feel love. So I am the first character to really understand that these children aren't, that really are, they're just as worthy, if not more worthy, than human beings. It's a complicated connection because I know that I shouldn't feel the way I do about this child. It's I guess it's a maternal instinct, but particularly with Melanie because she's highly intelligent as well. So there's something of the. I wouldn't say that their relationship is mother-daughter at all because I am totally conflicted, and there are times when even though I would never wish any harm on her, it's actually my goal is to protect her in all cases. There are times when I really have to stop myself from going further, and there are moments when I want to touch her and hug her, and I can't. It's and that's really interesting. And knowing that she could kill me as well is makes it very, very difficult. Human beings are meant to love, and so she completely falls in love with Melanie, and I think if she had lost someone very important to her before, it's like putting love into something else. And I think that Melanie has that effect on everyone, because everyone is heartbroken as well in this. We don't see it as much with Caldwell, but we definitely see it with Parks, and I love the arc that he has because, towards the end of the film, he really is. He starts to love her, and you see these little glimmers, and very subtle, because she is hope. She is the hope. I speak about it in the beginning scene about Pandora's box, and that all these terrible things come out of the box, but hope is at the bottom, and that's what you have to hang on to when everything goes terrible, and she is the hope. I read it and I just was transported. I don't usually like this type of genre type movie, but it doesn't feel like that to me. It felt like a character story, and I loved how all of the characters seemed sexless in a way, apart from Justineau, obviously, because of this maternal, but Parks could have been a woman, and Caldwell could have been a man, and Justineau could have been a man, and it was really, that's very refreshing for me to read. This sort of movie, I guess, could be overly focused on visuals, visual effects, special effects, gore, blood, but that's all taken care of already. So he's just with us, and it's all about the character, and always has an answer for everything, which is quite good for something like this. It's just, you feel, all of us actors have all agreed that we just feel safe in his hands, and we know that he's got this film in his head, and we just trust him, and that's the biggest thing you want from a director, is that you trust them, and that you know that if it's not right, they'll go again, or if it's right, they've got it, they won't overdo it. He's really, really clear and doesn't overshoot, which is great for energy. We did a few screen tests with lots of girls, and with Senya, I don't know. She just walked in and she had this sort of swagger, and I remember her sitting like this and just chatting, you know, and she just was really relaxed and cool, and it's a really nerve-wracking situation to do those kind of screen tests, and she just seemed pretty on top of it, and I was trying to remain quite professional, but then as we came on set, I think Colin had told Senya, you know, you're in love with Miss Justino, she is your world, and I came on set like a week and a half after the film had started shooting, and she was like, oh my God, Gemma's here, oh my God. And that's when it began, like, constant, and now we're at the end of the shoot, it's like, we're pals, and it's really cool. Do you know what, there was one time when she had to do quite an emotional scene, and she was freaking out about it a bit, and she was like, you guys cry really easily, and I said, it's not about crying, it's about feeling it, and don't worry about that, and but yeah, I mean, she's pretty kind of sorted, it seems to me. I mean, I'm amazed, to be honest with you. When I was that age, there's no way I'd be able to deal with all of that. And she's in practically every scene, and just, you know, got such an incredible energy and melts everybody, you know. She does, even Paddy. Even he was like, oh yeah, you're really adorable, I can't deal with it. I have to admit, I was quite intimidated at the prospect, because, I mean, she's Glenn Close. I mean, one of the greatest actresses in the world. And I was thrilled when I found out I'd be working with her. And I remember on the first day, when I met her, I thought, oh, and she was just like, hey, and she grabbed me and she was hugging me, and I was like, wow, she's so lovely. And we just became friends immediately, even though in the film, Caldwell and Justino are enemies. It was me, Glenn, and Anna Marina Marinka, and and we were all having this kind of great scene, and I thought, oh, this never happens, where three chicks are in a scene together and we're talking about science and things, and then one dies, and then it just never happens, and that's a credit to the script. All these really great parts for girls and women, and I just loved it. We're all so different. I remember Colin saying to me, I'd want to watch that movie, you three together. It's such an odd mix, and it's true. But I guess at the end of humanity, you don't kind of choose who you're going to hang out with. You just have to be with them. And I feel like that's how it is with the group that last. It's three people that wouldn't necessarily have any time for each other, forced to be together and survive, and then there's this little girl in the middle that kind of pulls them together in a weird way.